What is good, all you cool cats and kittens? This your commissioner, and welcome to year 5 of CCK, the 2025 season. As always, it's been a long off season without us having the NFL on TV, but especially so as we weren't able to see each other during this off season. It's almost as if we were trying to make sure that a certain Canadian team never got their trophy presentation or recognition for becoming the first multi-time winning franchise in CCK history. Hold on. What's up? Yes. Hey, folks, I'm getting told by our producers that a rogue spy transmission from Moncton, Canada is hijacking the stream. Hold on a second. Brandon, we can't let this...
We now bring you a breaking report from Rebel News Canada's most trusted media outlet. Today's story is focused on the Moncton Meercats Football Club and their recent success going back-to-back in the CCK Fantasy Football League, the first and likely only Canadian club to ever do it. Rebel News is proud to bring you the exclusive story. You are looking at previously recorded trophy presentation held at Tim Hortons in Moncton, New Brunswick, with a large crowd of 15 to 20 people in attendance. Justin Trudeau made an appearance to make the presentation along with several members of the Royal Canadian Mounted Police who took a break from policing our borders from the rampant fentanyl crisis. We were able to get an exclusive statement from Kyle Kennedy, the general manager of the Moncton Meercats, on his thoughts on the league and how the United States and Korea decided to handle this year's trophy presentation. Let me tell you something, folks. It's very sad, truly pathetic, what happened this year in the CCK Fantasy Football League. Everybody knows, that the Moncton Meercats are not only the greatest team in this league's history. We are winners, tremendous winners, back-to-back champions. Not once, but twice in a row. Historic. People are still talking about it, believe me. But this year, instead of the proper in-person ceremony, where the great champions receive the respect, the admiration, the applause, the ring, what did the league do? They went virtual. A virtual draft. Can you believe it? No trophy presentation, no recognition, nothing. It's disgraceful. Total disrespect to the Meercats, and quite frankly, to the game of fantasy football itself. People are calling it a sham, a total disgrace. Mr. Kennedy had no further comment and simply stated he is looking forward to another successful season.
Okay. Yeah. Yes, my weekly videos are a recorded broadcast, so we can make sure to erase that transmission before we release the video to the league. Okay. You want me to reshoot? Got it.
Okay, everyone! Commissioner Dim is back on screen! Take 2! Jessica, remember to scrub all of that vile video transmission from Fentanyl Land before we release this thing! Got it? Okay, Commissioner. We are good for you to go. Live in 5, 4, 3.
What is good, all you cool cats and kittens? This your commissioner, and welcome to year 5 of CCK, the 2025 season. As always, it's been a long off season without us having the NFL on TV, but especially so as we weren't able to see each other this off season with the 30% of CCK having their kids this calendar year. I want to first start off by saying that it was so disappointing to me that we weren't able to give Kyle his trophy presentation, and for me to give him his 2-peat ring in person. What an accomplishment that was. That said, let's absolutely make it a priority for us to get together next year in person. I'll be sending out a link for those who want to submit bids to host the 2026 draft and trophy presentation week. I hear the Montana crew is looking to refresh their bids. Now, for the upcoming season ahead, I wasn't able to deliver on fun videos and we weren't able to enjoy each other's companies during the off season. But I've got some things planned for the season that I've been working on and I hope to be able to get done and shared with you all soon. So with that out of the way, let's kick off the first video of the 2025 season of CCK with power rankings heading into the first week. So here is how the Fantasy Pros currently rank the teams heading into the first week. I've got my own rankings, which I'll go through team by team in a little bit. But as you can see here, at least in terms of the tiers, there's a clear race for the top 2 bye seeds among 4 teams. And including Travis, I'd say that's a clear 5 teams that's a lock for the playoffs. There's also a race for the 6th and final playoff seed between our 2023 expansion teams, with the full-out rebuilding teams clearly out of the playoff race by design. So that's the same tiering as I have it, but I'll go team by team now. At number 10, I've got Two Shots No Cup, who's expected to end the season the same way he was heading into last season, where he finished 8th. As you can see in the positional level rankings, he's a long ways from his season level contention, but I do have to say that his dynasty outlook looks much better. Certainly much better than where he was heading into the season this time last year. Eve made some moves, including selling George Pickens for a future first from Travis, which could end up quite nice in 2028, depending on where Travis's team looks at that point in time. He's also got 7 first rounders in the next 3 years, so it seems like our league elderman has learned how to play dynasty football. At number 9, I got full Jerry in the toilet bowl contender tier. Not surprising given the teardown he started mid-season last year. Whether it's the last 4 seasons for his season contention storyline or this year's dynasty storyline, I think it's the same thing. It's if Justin Herbert and Trevor Lawrence can become true pillars, that will let John move to phase 2 of his rebuilding into contention. At number 8 for the season, I've got Bills Mafia, who went into a full rebuild mode after finishing 3rd last season. He's made a lot of moves and stayed busy throughout. Not sure how he was able to do that, being so active while taking care of his newborn Cooper, but alas, Brandon traded away his running back based timeline in trading Bijan, Gibbs, and Derrick Henry away. And now he's riding on the longer and exciting timelines of some of the highest end wide receiver youngins, now rostering Malik Neighbors, Marvin Harrison Jr., Tet, Green Bay's first ever in a long time first round wide receiver pick in Matthew Golden, and including getting his favorite in Garrett Wilson back. If those players can pan out into top 5, 10 dynasty assets Malik is already, then Bills Mafia will be back with a vengeance into contender tier, seeking his first ever ring very, very soon. I really didn't like the Jackson Dart pickup at 109 during the draft, but at least with the preseason performance, that could end up becoming quite the pick. I think him and Cam Ward could both be exciting, and if so, it will only fuel his surge back into season contention. Brandon tends to reload versus rebuild, so let's see how his roster looks at this time next year. At number 7, I've got last year's Toilet Bowl champion, Kevin. And by the way, Kevin, while we may have not been able to have the trophy ceremony in person, I don't think that we have forgotten about your Toilet Bowl punishment. That will be due very soon. As for Kevin's roster, with the big blockbuster trade he made with me in the offseason acquiring Breece Hall, JT, AJ Brown, DJ Moore, shortly after acquiring Puka from Wooksy Fingerhold, I think Kevin certainly stepped up coming into this season than last year. He did trade away JT for Brian Robinson Jr. and a future first as well, so it feels like Kevin's roster is in a bit of a designed wait-and-see approach. I think he's got the ceiling of a top 5 seeding, but I can also see him trading a lot of those pieces they picked up this offseason by mid-season this year to contender teams for value. A lot of range for Kevin's season outcome this year. I'm curious to see what he will do. At number 6, I've got the other 2023 expansion team, Wooksy Fingerhold. CCK's best late round drafter is taking a real organic and strong building process, picking the right players, selling them at a large profit, and continue to build through the draft. Wooksy's roster is already a playoff level roster, and he's got a lot of youth and picks in his arsenal. If he isn't ready to make any moves this season, even if he doesn't make any moves, if fantasy community darlings like Caleb Williams, Travion Henderson, and Ricky Pearsall hit, and Brad continues to see high-end outputs from players like Bucky Irving and Brian Thomas, and he's got a healthy Tua, Wooksy really could be absolutely threatening come playoffs. Overall, I really appreciate and respect the way that Brad has been building out his roster. Slowly but certainly surely, And I think he's going to end up sustaining a long time, strong contender level roster in just a couple of more seasons. At number 5, I've got Huge Dicka, who's just always in his own tier this season as well. Travis has been impeccably, consistently mid. I do like the pickup he made in Jonathan Taylor and the play on George Pickens, but even if they all pan out, including Joe Burrow staying healthy, I think he's got a lower ceiling than Wooksie's ceiling. But overall, a higher expected outcome and a floor that is locked into the playoffs. Awesome golfer, though. And not joking, congrats on the golf season success this year. By the way, Travis, I really, really wish I can play some golf. At number 4, I've got Brady Stir Dynasty, who starts at top tier for the 4 teams in the race for the 2 bye seats. Fantasy Pros really likes his position rankings and his starters. Ryan has to have the crown for being impeccably consistent as a contender since the inaugural season where he won CCK's first championship. Ryan continues to make savvy moves and mix youth with vets to keep himself in contention while extending out his window. This season, though, I think he has a chance to really make a threatening run with his revamped quarterback room, basically Brandon's QB room from 2 years ago, which was considered the best. And Ryan is heading into this season firmly in the running for his second ring. At number 3, I got Mr. Ambassador, who blew through his trust fund and inheritance in depleting his draft picks this past offseason. But man, welcome to the league, man. Now he's got himself a roster full of young, high-level players. Absolute contender level ceiling if they pan out, but still a floor of a guaranteed floor playoff seeding. But this season, I think, will tell us if Sergey is going to be a contender for the next 5 years with this roster, if they can all make the jump to become dynasty cornerstones, or if he's going to have to ride or die with this highly promising yet not proven out rookie and second-year players. At number 2, I am giving it to Moncton Meerkats. I originally put him as number 1 before going through the numbers, but there's a bit too much of a difference in terms of the Fantasy Pros positional rankings. I think it's disrespectful to put the first multi-time and 2P champ of CCK as anything but number 1 heading into the season, but we've never seen historical seasons like the ones Lamar and Saquon had last season repeated in back-to-back seasons. That said, I'm never looking forward to playing against the Moncton Meerkats, and his all-time high and historical championship week performance putting up 211 against me will always leave me battered and bruised for the rest of my life whenever I have to face him. So at number 1, I'm giving it to Trust the Process. This past offseason, I finally addressed my running back room, which was causing too much of a week-to-week variance and relying solely on my wide receivers. I'm hoping, and I believe, Gibbs, Henry, and Omarion Hampton will put me up in a better outcome for the season ahead compared to JT, Brees, and ETN-led running back rooms of the past 2 seasons that I've had. I know you hate seeing me put myself at number 1, but numbers don't lie, so come get it. All right. Okay, so let's move over to Week 1 matchups. Prior to Thursday and Friday night games, I didn't think any of these matchups would be close, but Full Jerry might make me eat my words in just the first week of the season. That said, as for my overall picks, I'm not expecting any upsets. I'm picking all of the sleeper favorites heading into Sunday morning games. Week 2, I think, will be spicier. That does it for my first video of the CCK 2025 season. Stay tuned for some of the stuff I've been working on, getting shared in the coming weeks, and enjoy the Sunday morning kickoff, boys. Hey, Jessica, make sure to remove the Moncton Meerkats broadcast